Factoring trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. We still want to remember that we should always look for a greatest common factor. Here's the steps that we're going to do. We're going to find factors of the first term, which we'll end up putting into our first set of brackets. We're going to call this factoring by inspection. So we'll do this. There's more than one option, so we'll assess that as we go. Find factors of the last term. Those will end up going in the end of the brackets. And we're going to try different combinations until when we do our check, we check our outside and our inside, referring to the FOIL method, until they add to our middle term. Now, because you're going to do a little bit of guess and check ultimately, you're going to want to use pencil for this, okay? So the first factor, or first number I'm going to look at is 4x squared. So I'm going to choose factors of 4x squared. I can choose 4 and 1 or 2 and 2. I'm going to try 2 and 2 first. I tend to not pick the factor with 1 in it as my first choice, okay? Now, I'm going to look at the signs next here. Because I know that both signs are positive, I know both these have to be positive, only positive numbers we're working with. Now I want to find factors of 9. So my choices are 1 and 9 and 3 and 3. So I'm going to try 3 and 3 first. I don't know if this is correct, but then it eliminates any, guessing. If I put 3 in which set of brackets, I end up with the same binomial. So then I'm going to check my inside. 3 times 2 is 6x. And my outside, 6x. When I add those, I get 12x. I need that to add to 20x, so it cannot be 3 and 3, right? I'm going to try 1 and 9 next. So this is where that factor by inspection, you're going to try different things. So I'm going to try 1 and 9. So this gives me 1 times 2 is 2x. 2 times 9 is 18. Now I get lucky and I can see that 2 plus the 18 gives me the 20x. Let's try one more. Open up our brackets. 4g squared. Again, I could try 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. I tend to try the 2's first. I know both signs are positive, so I'm going to just leave those as positive. Now I'm going to try factors of 6. So I only have 1 and 6 or 3 and 2. I know 2 doesn't really make sense because there is no GCF. And if I put a 2 here, there would have been a GCF in that bracket. Had I put a 2 here, that also doesn't make sense. Same thing if I chose 1 and 6. I still have a GCF. So that tells me that maybe my first guess wasn't very good. So I'm purposely going through a few options. Sometimes you're going to get your answer right away. But if I try 1 and 4, now I can try my 3 and 2. So let's try 3 and 2. And I get 12 here. And I get 2 here. So that does not work. I'm going to try 3 and 2. Or I guess I had 2 and 3, sorry. Repeating myself. So 8, middle term 3, and I got it. So sometimes because it was 1 and 4, it took me a little bit longer. I don't really need to write the 1 in there. So this is where it's going to take some practice to get used to your trial and error. So I'll have you try 3 and 4.